Welcome, my friends, to the Red All Over Away End Show with me, Andy Simcox. This show is a companion to Red All Over's main preview show and affords me the opportunity and gives me the greatest pleasure to talk to friends old and new about their club. We look at their team's strengths, weaknesses, style, formation, how the season's going so far, what players we should look out for, and much, much more. But before all that, let me take you back all the way to 1958. Yes, folks, 1958, when a 4-year-old boy went to his first game at Oakwell, sat on his dad's shoulders on the Kop to watch his beloved Barnsley. Fast forward to the present day, and the Kop is now an all-seater stand named the Barry Murphy stand after our longest serving player. It is also designated as the away stand. So in a strange twist of fate, that 4-year-old boy has come full circle and is now finally back on the away end. Strap yourselves in. Roll the titles. I'd like to extend a big Red All Over away end welcome to Steve Bardsley from Stockport County's the Scarf Begara War. Now, I have to say before I ask Steve to talk about himself a bit, is that we tried to get Russ Johnson that we had on last year, but he said he were too busy this year, so we brought a sub on, or Begara's brought a sub on, as the Uruguayan was wont to do. So Danny Begara has brought on Steve Bardsley.
Yeah, super sub.
Super sub. So hopefully it'll not be like David Fairclough for Liverpool for this Saturday. But Steve, massive welcome. Thanks. People know we've just done the Scarf Begara Wars preview show. So a lot of I always said that this show is a companion to our main preview show. Well, this one's also a companion to the Scarf Begara War thing that Steve's done, because on that show I've talked about Barnsley. On this show he's going to talk about Stockport. So you'll be sick of hearing about Stockport and Barnsley by the end of this one. So Steve, welcome. Tell us about the podcast and what have you.
And this is what people want to hear about both. Before the game, you want to hear about what both teams have got to say, aren't you? So, it's all good fun. But yeah, I'm part of the Scarf Begara War team. It's been going back just over 10 years, I think. Started out as just kind of a weekly pod, but grown. It sounds very similar to you guys. We do like the main pod now. We do the preview show, the review show after the match. There's a ladies pod as well. And then they do a lot of events. Tomorrow night, actually, Russ is a busy guy. He pulls it all together. He's constantly planning. And he's doing a live pod with, or a live event with Anthony Starcevic, currently at Black Bradford. Yeah. So that's in Stockport Town Centre. So, yeah, all good fun. But you've got me for this one, the super sub.
Don't talk about Russ anymore to me. He's dead to me now. He's gone. What he did do, as he explained to us, and I'm sure Barnsley fans have slept since then, so they'll forget about how the name the Scarf Begara War came about. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, absolute club legend, manager, early 90s, Danny Begara, Uruguayan manager, first foreign manager to lead the English team out at Wembley before.
You've been watching what he says, haven't you? Because you're saying exactly what he says.
Yeah, well, we all follow the same club.
Have you got an hymn sheet? Between?
No.
Sorry, Steve. Keep going anyway. I've heard it all before, but keep going.
The thing is, we loved Danny Begara. There's a stand named after him, and it'll go down in folklore. There's actually a statue of him outside the ground now. An amazing character. If you ever hear some of the stories about him, it's hilarious. I'll do you a quick one where I went to an event recently, and I can't remember which one it was. It was either Peter Ward or It might be Kevin Francis. Kevin Francis came down to the club. He said that, Stockport are interested in you. He was at Derby at the time. Comes down to the club to meet Danny Begara. And he comes into the club and like, where's Danny? And some guy says he's out on the pitch. And it's like something like 7 o'clock at night. And he's like, what's he doing out on the pitch? So they go out and he's like, where is he? He's there. He's there. And he's lying on the dugout, the away team dugout, with a shotgun shooting pigeons in the stands. It just like, and there's hundreds and hundreds of stories about the guy. So he's an absolute club legend. Then we have our kind of our song, our anthem, which is the scarf my father wore, and that's all about passing the scarf down through generations, which is the same.
Beautiful.
At your club, I would expect, in any other club, and it's just a combination of the two. So yeah, the scarf Begara wore.
That's exactly what Russ said. So you followed the script perfectly.
I promise I haven't got a script. It's just it's in there.
Well, I was going. I had thought earlier on. I had thought about clipping in Russ saying it and saying, "Tell me which you think's best." But you've said the same thing, so there's no flipping. But you've saved me a job.
I bet he didn't mention Danny Begara with a shotgun on the waiting dugout.
He did. It's fair to say he didn't mention that. He mentioned Uruguay. He mentioned about being the first person to lead, first foreign manager to lead a team out to Wembley, and he mentioned about the my father war and what have you, which is I thought then, and I think now is a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful name for a podcast. It's a bit more imaginative than Red All Over, that's for sure.
It all works, though, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Right. Tell me about your team. You've been doing well until the last couple of games. You've been flying high. You're still up there, aren't you? You're still a point away or something like that. So
yeah, we've had a bit of an indifferent season, really. We started off and we couldn't put two halves together. And I don't know how much you know about our injury problems. It's becoming at all clubs, but we have a lot of players out injured and new signings who haven't even kicked a ball yet. Wow. Club captain not kicked a ball yet, and a lot of injuries. But despite that, we have got a lot of strength in depth. Yeah. So we're managing to put out decent teams every week, but we just couldn't string two halves together. We played Bradford at home and looked like the best I've seen us play in 20 years. Incredible. And then second half, they beat us 2-1. And Sarcevic scores the winner. As you could have wrote it before the game. Yeah. And so it took a while to get that kind of consistency. And then we had a terrible defeat at Plymouth. It's like we didn't turn up. I was there that day and it was just, it was awful. Just so ineffective. But then we played Cardiff at home and then we suddenly started putting consistency together. We finally stopped conceding goals, which had been a big problem in the first part of the season. And we started, not conceding and scoring a couple of goals and putting a run together. And I think we went 7 games unbeaten, won 5 of them. The 2 we didn't win, the draws we should have won. Yeah. And we even beat Huddersfield away with 10 men, which was, hell of a result.
Yeah.
So it was all going well, and that saw us kind of rise up the table, and we're thinking, this is nice. And we've got all these players to come back. And then we lost 4 players, another 4. And that's just absolutely crippled us. And then we've lost 2 on the bounce since then.
You haven't. Everything was going so well, weren't it, up till then? You'd won the previous, the form guide, you won. You're still up there because you won 4 on the trot.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, lost the last 2, including at home to Luton.
Yeah.
Who we hammered.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is that...
So it's 8-0 to Barnsley then?
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes. I mean, Luton beat us 3-0. You beat Luton 5-0. Who knows what's going to happen?
Means nothing, does it?
It does.
It's absolutely nothing.
I mean, to be fair, the Luton game, they deserved to beat us, but it was a closer game than it looked on the result. Yeah. But the Peterborough away game, we weren't very good at all.
They're coming good again, though, Peterborough.
Yeah. They've got a new manager, that is Luke Williams, is it?
Yeah, since they've changed from Darren Ferguson, who'll probably not be their manager for... Maybe in a couple of months' time when he goes back for the 300th time.
Yeah.
But under Luke Williams, they've turned it around. So So that we've got them in the cup away in the FA next round of FA Cup at their ground as
Oh, have
well.
you?
So that's something to look forward to. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So tell us about your ins and your outs. Tell us who's injured. But cheer me up
Oh,
first. Tell me who's injured. That'll
so
make me feel
who's
happier.
injured? That's a great question. So our star player is injured, Oliver Norwood.
Oh, is he injured? Because you see, I used to like Oliver Norwood when we were playing for Sheffield United. Oh, don't mind Sheffield United.
He is. There's been a debate going
Pivotal.
on with Stockport fans. Is he the greatest midfielder ever to play for us? And people are beginning to say he is. He's my favourite player. It's an absolute joy to watch him play football, and he's been pulling the strings all
Yeah.
season. He had a freak training ground incident, nothing tackled, ended up with a blood clot, had to be rushed to hospital, had surgery,
Wow.
out for 8 weeks.
Oh, that's
So
not good.
that's a bit of good news for your midfield.
I don't like players. I mean, that's dangerous stuff,
Oh
isn't
yeah,
it? Blood
yeah,
clotting.
but
That's saying, yeah. Do you know? I like to see good players play, even if it's
yeah,
to our detriment. I don't. I don't want you to have 12 injuries, and so you've got to play. Well, me and you playing, shoring up your midfield. You want to be entertained. You want to see good players
yeah,
play. So I
yeah.
didn't realise Oliver were out injured, and I seriously think that's a shame.
Yeah, it is. It gets worse as well. So his midfield partner would be Lewis Bate, our club captain.
Yeah.
Phenomenal player. Injured his foot just before the season started. Not kicked a ball.
God,
Out till January. So he won't be playing. The other midfielder, Callum Camps, got injured in the last game, but we don't know what's going on with him. So it's 50-50. He might be available, he might not. So we also brought in on deadline day, we brought in a guy called Ben Osborne
oh
from,
yeah,
from
yeah,
Derby.
yeah.
Played Sheffield United, I think, over the years,
That's right. It's a
and
good player.
a brilliant player. So we brought him in to basically cover the left side of defence, left wing back, left back, but also as that cover for centre mid. So we always hoped that if Oliver Norwood did get injured, Ben Osborne would walk in, but he's injured as well. So
Oh, I'm gutted about that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like Ben Osborne as a
Oh,
player.
I've been so impressed. There is some good news that some of these players are coming back soon, but they won't be back on Saturday. Or I'll be shocked if they are. So them four are out. And then we signed a young lad from Everton, Tyler Onyango. He's like a 6'4" wing back, and he can play in the middle as well. He's injured. We've got Brad Hills, the centre back we signed in just before deadline day for million plus. He's injured. We're also Artu Hoskonen. We signed from Finnish International. He's the only player to score against England in this latest run, and he's injured. He's not kicked a ball for us yet.
I am going to start smiling in a bit. I
and
will start smiling the way you're going on.
then we've got Teo Eden, who we signed from Peterborough.
Yeah, yeah.
Left back, left wing back. He got injured before the season started. He's not played since. So we're missing 8 players who I would consider to be starters.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying we've only got 11 starters. We've got a lot more than 11. We've got 18 who you could fight for that, first team spot. But they're 8 players that would probably be playing, and none of them will be playing on Saturday.
They make a difference, don't they? Players like
Yeah.
Ollie Norwood and whatever, they make a difference.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. We've got other players as well, but
I know.
yeah, no.
Well, you've got. I presume this one's not injured. You've got, and I'm not ashamed to say, you've got Jack Diamond, who's been when he were at Lincoln. I know he were on loan then.
Yeah.
He were on loan from Sunderland. Apart from his name, he's always, whenever I've seen him play against us for Lincoln, he's been phenomenal. He's I were hoping he might be suspended or something like that, just for the one game, because I really rate him as a player and I really enjoy watching. He always plays superbly against us, so I'm hoping he finally does a decent thing and has enough game.
Yeah, he's not injured, so he will be available.
You never know. There's a we're talking on a Tuesday. He might have a training ground thing,
Well,
just a little tweak. I don't want
to
him
be
to be
honest, with
hurt.
our track record, I wouldn't be surprised. I know all teams suffer, but all teams do. It's just gone a bit crazy just lately. But I'm not don't want to use that as excuses because we've got plenty of players.
Well, from Red All Over, one of my teammates on Red All Over, Craig Wood, one of his favourite players as Malik Mothersill.
Yeah.
So, and I'm assuming he'll be playing because
Yeah,
he
well,
really rates him.
yeah. Well, Jack Diamond and Malik Mother. So we signed Jack Diamond last season, and it took him half a season to get going, and he
Yeah.
finally got going, and it's like, here's the player I thought we were getting, and he's had a good season this year already. He's up in the top kind of dribblers in the league. I think he's
Mm.
number 2 in the league, and we signed Malik Mothersill for 1 million plus in the summer. Expectation he was going to come in and do exactly the same, but it sounds like we brought. Oh God, I'm going to repeat myself again, but he came with an injury, a back problem, so he's been a little bit stop start. He came off the bench against Peterborough on Thursday, and I actually thought he looked
Right.
pretty good. So I wouldn't be surprised if he either plays or he'll definitely be in. He'll play a part in some way, but we've not seen the best of him yet, unfortunately.
It's a good player.
Yeah, I'm hearing that, but we
And
just
it doesn't surprise me that you paid that amount of money. Well, it surprises
yeah.
me that anybody in our league has spent that amount of money. You've got to have it to spend it, haven't you? So,
Yeah, there's a bit
I
of
would love
money.
to have signed him.
Yeah, our owner's got a bit of money. He splashes the cash, to be honest, every now and again. So, but yeah, let's see what happens with Malik. He's one on paper that should be good. Everyone says he's a good player. We've just not seen it yet, but there's been glimpses.
You've not mentioned Kyle Wotton being injured yet.
No, no. So he's our star player. So if you ask me who's to look out for on Saturday, it's Carl Wootton.
I'll not ask you now, then I was going to ask you, but I'll not bother.
It's just, I mean, I listened to your pod. Well, not listened to your pod. You were on our pod earlier. You were talking about, Davis Keller, DKD, Davis Keller Dawn, and how you'd love to have a big front man to hold the
Keeler
ball
done.
up.
Get
Sorry,
his
Keeler
name
Dunn.
right, Steve.
Keeler
Keeler
Dunn, yeah.
done.
Uh, and then, Carl Wootton is that big front man, and he's blessed with, he's got skill, he's got touch, he can do tricks, he can hold the ball up. He'll be battling with the centre halves non-stop. A phenomenal player, and with the players who got injured, he's the one to watch out for.
What about Nathan Lowe? You got him on loan, haven't you?
Yeah,
How's he
so
been playing?
yeah, so again, another slow starter, but
He's got a good name. He's had a good name.
yeah, he's finally beginning to click. He's looking the part, and a strange one at Peterborough away. He dropped into the bench, and he was having a good run for us, scoring quite a few games, and then he decided to go play our Icelandic international. I say Icelandic under 21 international up front. But I think what you'll see on Saturdays, you'll see a partnership of Wootton and Lowe,
Yeah.
and Lowe's a big lad as well. He's like 6'4". He's bigger than Wootton. Um, and he knows where the goal is, but they're beginning to form a bit of a partnership. So looking pretty good.
As I told you on your thing, we've got Jack Shepherd as well as Mark Roberts. Jack Shepherd went off injured, hopefully, and I really do mean hopefully he'll be back because that'll be a fascinating battle.
Yeah, it will.
Between Nathan Lowe and Kyle, we are two centre halves because they battle as well. So that really will be something
Yeah, it'll be
to
interesting
watch
because
for.
you're playing 4 at the back, so you're only going to have your 2 centre halves. And if we do go with the 2 up front,
Yeah,
I'm not sure we will go with 2 up front. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes with runners such as Mothersill and Diamond
yeah.
behind Wootton. I'm not sure what he's going to do. But we need to do something to kind of stop the rot of the last 2 games.
Well, I've told you that we're told you on your other we're prone to because we have a high press. We've got prone to a ball over the top, and we fast players running on. So it might not be the worst thing for you to try and do. Oh,
Yeah,
time will tell.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But no, but Lowe does look the part. He's doing well. He's growing into the team for sure.
So tell me about your formation then, because it sounded that it were a bit similar to us. I don't know.
Well, no. So yes and no. So Challoner wants to play a 3-5-2. That's what he wants to play.
Right,
Um,
okay.
he's recruited for a 3-5-2. Oh, well, I say 3-5-2. He wants to play wing backs. That's what he wants to play. It might not be, he might go with 1 up front or 3-4-3 or whatever, but he
Yeah.
wants to play wing backs with 3 centre halves. That's what he wants to do. And when we went on the 7-game unbeaten run, That's what we were doing.
Right.
Then he changed it due to injuries against Luton. I went to a flat back four, and I think we sort of played a flat back four again against Peterborough as well. Uh, so we're kind of not playing the formation we want to, but I do feel we need to go to kind of wing backs again.
It's a funny game, because I told you, we've had years of playing with wing backs,
Yeah,
three centre halves and wing backs. And having however many years, we've come away from that this season to a flat back four. And you're now doing it, which is
yeah,
why, and it didn't surprise me. You got Corey O'Keefe because he's a wing back rather than a
yeah,
full back, and on his day is prone to a mistake, or it was certainly was for us. But on his day, a skillful player that can go forward with some pace and some power and take the ball, carry
yeah,
it. I used to like him carrying the ball, and he used to take a lot
yeah,
of free kicks for us as well. Obviously, he'll not be able to play because he's
yeah.
on loan from us.
Unfortunately, but yeah, he's done all right though. He's done okay. He's not set the world alight. Pretty much the feedback your guys said when we signed him is what we're seeing. Similar to what you just said, there is mistakes in him, but his delivery is fantastic, especially when you've got Kyle Wotton and Nathan Lowe up front. If you've got someone like Corey O'Keefe crossing the ball, and it creates opportunities. But unfortunately, he won't be playing on Saturday.
I know, I know. Well, there'll be. I'm actually gutted for you that he's not playing, but there'll be a lot of Barnsley fans gutted there is not playing because of the mistake in him. They'd be quite happy for him to play against us,
Yeah, but
but
you
I
know how
don't
it
think that.
goes. You can guarantee if he
No,
was available to play, he'd score, wouldn't he? That's what always happens. Like
he,
Sarcevic scoring against us.
he, yeah, he'd have a stormer, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
He'd be
yeah,
best player on the
absolutely.
flipping pitch.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
in that respect, but we can go on to talking about players that have played for both clubs. For your show, I had a look at this and saw some of the players. I know we've discussed it on yours, so people are going to watch both shows. Prepared to be bored for a little bit. Um, just going to repeat it. Um, but yeah, I was surprised. We did this last week for Luton, and there were since 2000 there was something like 25 players had
Wow.
played for both clubs. It was ridiculous. So. I looked and I thought, well, it's nowhere near us. I thought there'd be more because we're not far apart, physically far apart between, we've only got, a mountain range between us.
Yeah.
So,
I think we've been on different football trajectories, though, haven't we, over the last 20 years? I think that's probably not helped.
we have, I mean, the other thing for you is that, I mean, I know you're signing players now, but, you're not part of God's own country. Well, you do all right. I actually, I really like Stockport are a proper football. There's a
Yeah.
number of football clubs in Yorkshire, in South Yorkshire particularly, like Doncaster and like Rotherham and what have you, and like yourselves. And there'll be some that you don't particularly get on with, but like your Wigans, although they've had their moment in the sun, and Oldhams and what have you, and Rochdale. I went to Rochdale a number of times. That are proper football clubs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bury, I
Absolutely.
loved Bury, and I'm gutted with what
Yeah.
I'm
Me
glad they're
too.
on the trajectory back, but
Yeah.
gutted about them. Good football clubs. So I'm surprised that there aren't more players played for both clubs. Although currently you've got Corey O'Keefe,
Yep.
you've just signed as like I suppose an emergency loan Jack Hunt,
Yep.
who if he often used to get injured, but he was a great right back for us going forward, a strong right back going for us when he
Yeah.
was
I
with us.
think he'll play as well. I think he'll play on Saturday because he's been brought in for that cover, and particularly with O'Keefe not available. I
He'll
think
play
Hunt
out
will
of his
start.
skin. He'll play out of his
Yeah.
skin. And Owen Dodgson,
Yeah.
which I didn't realise you'd signed Owen Dodgson, who we had on loan, and I liked him as a left back, left wing back, left back. I really liked him, but we got a few at the time, so he didn't always get picked first off, as a first team. But a good player, never let us down, strong defender. You got him as well, which I honestly didn't realise. And of course, there's been players in our past that we're quite happy for you to take off our. You've taken a few off our hands. I was surprised
Yes,
how
it's
many.
a
Look,
common thing, isn't it?
yeah, Stockport. I'm going to start. See if Stockport loans a player from Barnsley. I thought, well, don't know who that'll be.
Yeah.
Could be any one of them. Sam Cosgrove, bless
Yeah.
his cotton socks. Currently playing in Australia at Auckland.
He is, isn't he? Yeah.
Sam Cosgrove, you took him
He,
off
he
our
didn't
hands.
really feature for us. He was brought in last season because we're so reliant on Kyle Wootton. I think they brought him in. It's like if we lose Kyle Wootton, we need someone to go into that position. And made about eight appearances, but he never really got going.
It's fair to say that Sam didn't really for us either.
Yeah.
And he were on the pitch.
He didn't he score for you? Was it against Bolton in the
Right.
playoffs or something?
There's two things that I will always be chuffed about with with Sam. He he must be the only player that's about 6'3", 6'4", or 5 or whatever that's 3'3" when he jumps. Um, he did two things. The second leg of the playoff final a year ago, he was outstanding.
Yeah, I remember
Away to
that.
Bolton, it was, and we thought finally the player that we thought we've signed, and it took all season, and then it stopped being him, stopped it
Yeah.
again. But it was absolutely brilliant. That it was unstoppable that game, but it was the only game. The only other thing, and I think it was the goal of the season. It weren't really, but I think it was the goal of the season. We were drawing in a drab 0-0 home draw against Wickham, and in injury time, their goalkeeper and a strike check or something like that, wasting time throughout the game, as at the time only Wickham could, and he kept flopping down injured and having to have the trainer come on and what have you. And in injury time, 0-0, and it's like people are getting ready to go because thinking, oh, just pack up and let's start. Wait for the final whistle, but pack up. He went at the ball come through to him. Sam Cosgrove followed it. He made out he was going to pick it up, then he didn't. Sam Cosgrove run towards ball and knocked into him, and he did knock into him, and he flopped down like he'd been shot. He went down, goalkeeper. He just went down. He brushed into him, and down he went. And I think, it should have been a foul, in my view. It should have been a foul. But I think the referee was that fed up at him flopping down as though he'd been shot that he played on. He dropped ball and Cosgrove put it into an empty net, and we won 1-0. And
Brilliant.
I think it was the goal of the season because the goalkeeper of Wickham at that time made an absolute fool of himself, and he deserved all he got. So I'll never forget Sam Cosgrove for doing that. That apart, and Bolton, no, I'm
Yeah.
glad you had him, and I don't think anybody
Yeah.
anybody mourns his departure from Oakwell. I think anybody. We had one of your, it's years ago now, but we had one of your legends as a centre half that we needed because we were struggling at centre half at that time. We had Mike Flynn come over,
Yeah.
and he were
Absolute club legend he is. And he actually is part of this podcast as well. He comes on the main pod every 4 weeks and does his own kind of insight into what's going on, and he's just great to be part of, and an absolute legend for us. But yeah, great player.
I'm not going to go through them all, Steve, because if anybody wants to know the rest of them, I'll say a couple more. Then watch the Scarf
Yeah,
Begara War, the preview with
yeah,
funny enough, me and Steve Bardsley on it. So, but a couple of others got to mention. Well, I'll mention one. Well, two. Got to mention Roger Wilde, although he made his name by them at just up the road from us, Sheffield Tuesday, I think. I can't remember. He came to us and he were good. He were good for us, and he were there for you, weren't he?
yeah.
Player,
He played I think
physio,
a season
journalist.
as striker. Then he became the physio. And I was telling you earlier that he actually had his own song. So every time he came on the pitch, it was like they were singing the "Ooh Roger Roger" chant, and it was just brilliant. I remember like that was my early days of following Stockport, and it was just like, do all physios have songs? And it's like it turns out they don't, do they?
Oh, he's a great career and
Yeah,
a smashing guy. And
yeah,
last but not least, well, it is actually last and definitely least, although watch the Scarpagara Water so you can see all the others, the ne'er-do-wells and the good ones. Barry Betts. Got to talk about Barry Betts. Well, I ain't got to talk much about him because I've no idea. Barry Betts played 112 games, according to Mrs. Google, 112 games for Stockport. in 1957 to 1960. And before that, he played 55 times for Barnsley in 1950 somewhat, 1952, I think. So before my time, when he actually played for Stockport, was 2 year old. No, just 3 years old. So I don't remember. I don't
No, I've
remember him.
no
But Barry
idea.
Betts, I'm going to start, I think, a Barry Betts Appreciation Society
Oh, you
because
should do it.
you
Yeah.
know that he's become to me now. He's become a legend. He's what can you say? No, I don't suppose we'll see out on him. On our show,
I'm going to be
Steve.
Googling him after this now, though. I'm going to be
Barry Betts.
checking it.
It's not a Y. It's Barrie. Barry
Right.
Betts. Oh, we're a star. There are people on our show that think that me and my old friend, who's no longer with us, Alan, that we actually watched Barnsley play in the FA Cup final in 1912, and we didn't, but we make out that we did, and it were difficult because it were difficult to tell the teams apart because they're all in black and white, so I couldn't tell them apart. Oh,
There
there's
is one
that to
other
it.
player just worth mentioning, and he played on loan for you years and years ago from Everton. That's Callum Connolly.
Callum Connolly, because he's still with you, isn't he?
Yeah, and he'll be playing on Saturday. Yeah. So
Like
good player. Good player.
he put his when he were with us, he put his heart into it. He were a
Yeah.
young lad with us,
Yeah.
but you could see, he's got a career out of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, he's got a career, and I can remember us scoring a goal and him celebrating like he'd won the World Cup. And for that, you don't forget players
He's another
that mean
wears that
something.
on his sleeve. He
That
put his body in front of everything, and he's a good player. A good player.
that in a nutshell. Right, before we go on to predictions, there's a few things about you, Steve, that we want to know.
Right.
Now, I told you briefly before we come on that we've got a couple of lads called George and Isaac who style themselves a bit like Ant and Dec as little Alan Andy after me and my sadly departed friend Alan Smith, who wanted them to continue. So they ask questions of our away end guests. So they're going to ask you. You'll get a bit fed up. I'm not fed up because I've only heard them say it once. Um, I don't want you to get too fed up, but I'm going to get them to ask you a couple of questions if that's all
I'm
right with you.
all for it, mate.
Uh,
All for it.
So, this is the first question. I'm going to put them on now to ask the first question. So, here they are.
Why don't you support a good team? Yeah, like Liverpool or Manchester City. Or best of all, Barnsley.
I was always one of them who I didn't follow the norm. So when I went to school back in the 80s or whatever, everybody was United or City fan around here. It was one or the other. And there was a small, tiny percentage. I think there was two of us in the school who were Stockport County fans. And I just went against the norm. And I'm pretty kind of loyal to my town. I've always lived in Stockport all my life. And
I would never have guessed from your accent.
yeah, it's pretty obvious. But yeah, I love it. I went with my dad when I was about 8, and then kind of on and off over the years. And it was just from the first time I ever went to the game, just in the stands, seeing what other fans are shouting and swearing and the football going on. And I even think in my first game, and I don't know if it's 100% true, but I think Mickey Quinn played for Stockport, who was a Newcastle legend.
Mm.
And it's just, you never forget it, do you? And I thought, this is my life now. That's what I want to do. And I've done it ever since.
I can remember, and you'll hear it as the introduction on this show. I can remember being young, and it's now the away end. It was with the cop, and it was literally God's honest truth. It was literally a slag heap at the side of the pitch, a total slag heap that they put concrete on. And I sat on my dad's shoulders. And the first time I did that, and then with the floodlights, I just found it mesmerizing and magical. And you never ever, well, I haven't, and I'm
Yeah.
71 now. That's like 67 years. So, by the way, you say you went to school in 1980s.
Well, I'm 52 now, so
You're only 52.
yeah,
Have you had
yeah,
an hard life or something?
yeah, absolutely.
I thought I wouldn't. I thought, although you might have touch your appearance up for this? I don't know. I'm not just asking. I'm not casting any. I'm casting a lot of aspersions, aren't I? Actually, but I'm only kidding.
Yeah, it's a grey one, but used from behind or grey hair, and
Yeah. Yeah. You got to support your own club. It keeps it real,
absolutely.
Kid. It absolutely keeps it real, Steve. So I'm going to put them on for a second one. So, oh dear, you'll get fed up. Here they are.
Who's your tumbled auntie? The one that's going down in the box like he's been shot by a sniper.
That's a good question. Do you know? We don't have a lot of them these
Oh, everybody
days.
says that.
Now,
every flipping person says that.
Well, I'm going to tell you I think it will be, but I think it might be Malik Mothersill. So I wouldn't be surprised. But we've not seen a lot of him this season, but he's the guy he's going to be taking on players, trying to get past the guys, and I can see him going down in the box. Apart from that, you're probably looking at Jack Diamond, but he tries to. I wish he would go down more often, to be honest, because he's a tricky guy. He goes past the players, but he's always looking to get a shot away. That's the only thing on his mind. He wants to shoot. Sometimes I wish he'd pass it, to be honest. But so we've had him in the past, but at the moment, not really.
I've got another question for you. It's only quick in this one, though.
Who is your biggest rival? Which team gives you the ick?
Right, so that's a good question. So I suspect 90% of podcasts you speak to will go, this is our main rival. We're very unfortunate that we do not have proper rivals. What we've done is we've created competitive rivalries over the years when we've been going through kind of situations or where we've been going, both competing at the same time. We had a little bit of a rivalry with Stoke, believe it or not, in the 90s, and Burnley, which was a bit of a weird one. Bradford earlier than that, we had a bit of a rivalry with, but it's more competitive rivalries. My favourite though was back in when we got to our kind of heights of the championship, and we were in the championship for 3 seasons, which was we were really punching above our weight back then. But it coincided with Manchester City dropping into the championship, and we played them 6 times over 3 years, and we won. I think we won 3, drew 2, lost 1, and that included 2 wins at Main Road as well. And that was just incredible. And a lot of my mates are City fans. They've still not got over that. So if you looked at a club, the closest club to us probably City, but we're never competed on their level. And I don't want to play them again because they're going to hammer us if we ever play them again. So I'm just happy with our five games unbeaten in that 6-game spell. That'll do me.
I'm going to put them on again, and this will be an interesting thing for you. So here they are.
If you could sign any player from League One, which Barnsley player would it be?
Without a doubt, if our squad's, this is an easy one for me, but based on the fact our squad's fully fit, Dave, God, I nearly said your guy then, Cozy Dewberry at Bolton.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
What a player he is. Yeah. What I would say is, based on our current situation, I'd have Lewis King in from Reading, the midfielder, because we have not got any midfield at the moment, and he'd be a perfect replacement.
He's a good midfield player.
Yeah,
he used to play at Rotherham for a few seasons.
Yeah, cracking player. But Cozy Dewberry, what a player. And I'm hoping they call him back in January and he's out of our league.
I'd not thought about that, but yeah,
that's what I'm hoping. They did it to us with Louis Barry, didn't they, last season?
They did. They did, because he was scoring for fun for you last season.
Yeah.
Till he was recalled.
Yeah, and Nathan Lowe as well. Nathan Lowe was at Walsall and they pulled him back from Walsall.
I know they can, but oh dear me, I know they can. Before we talk about predictions, one last thing. It's not from them. They've finished. I've had enough of them. What do you think your weaknesses are? I told you ours on your show.
Yeah. So weaknesses at the moment is without a doubt our injuries, but it's the midfield. Yeah. So our fully fit midfield is super strong. We've lost Lewis Bate, we've lost Ollie Norwood, we might have lost Callum Camps. We do have Owen Moxon, but he's not really firing on all cylinders. And we have a player called Odin Bailey, who we didn't really see as featuring as a kind of regular first team starter, but he's really took his chance and he's doing very well. But we've got holes in the midfield without a doubt, and I'm really concerned about it going into Saturday. If Callum Camps plays, then we might be okay, but I'm worried about that.
Okay, what are your thoughts for the game then? It's a bit mixture, a bit worried, excited.
Yeah, do you know, if you'd asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have been very convinced of a win. And I've never been on any podcast and predicted anything but a home win when we've been at home. But I'm concerned for Saturday. I am. And the one thing we've got going in our favour is I think it's like a 9-day break since our last game. And
yeah, actually played on the Thursday, didn't you?
And Dave Challoner, he's a very good coach and he'll be coming up with a plan. But I'm concerned, and we are going to leak in goals at the moment. And I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw, which is against anything I've ever done for a home game.
You're a disgrace.
Yeah,
an absolute disgrace.
I'm like normally super positive, but I'm concerned about that midfield. I really am.
You're not the only one that thinks there's be a draw. Not me. You know you know me. That I've explained on your podcast. 2-1 to Barnsley, and it's the hope that kills you, Steve. It's the hope that kills you. You know, I'm not doing great on our prediction table this year so far, but you know, I live in hope.
I think the thing we've got going in our favour is the fact you smashed Luton 5-0, because that sometimes goes the other way, doesn't it, in the next game?
Well, it's a really strange thing, because when we were talking about Luton coming, you know, we'd had a break. You know, we'd had the international break. We've had 3 international breaks where we've not played a game, so we've been, you know, we're behind. Well, everybody, I think, in games played, which is not always great, because sometimes points are better than games that then all sort of pile up, and that's when injuries hit and suspensions and what have you. I often think that when we, historically, the last few seasons, when we've had an international break, we've been sluggish. You'd think they'd come back and be up and at them, you know, full of energy, vigour, straight, you know, in the face and what have you, and we haven't been. We were against Luton, and having had a break, and so I expect us to be doing the same. But you know, it's the hope, and you know, you want it, and then your hopes get dashed. You know, I'm too old to be thinking. Centre half Jack Shepherd limped off injured. Don't know if he'll be fit. He'll be a massive loss, because he blocks everything. Apart from he's a tall, strong physical centre half that can play a bit, but he just gets in. He puts himself in front of anything. I hope he's fit. And in midfield, as I've told you on your podcast, we've got now a full Ireland international, having been for Ireland under 21s, Northern Ireland under 21s. Patrick Kelly, he will get the ball and run. You know, he can get out of tight spaces and he'll run at your defence from midfield.
It's going to be interesting.
It'll be a sad loss.
It's going to be an interesting matchup.
If he's not fit, you know.
Tactically, I don't know what's going to happen, but normally I can predict the starting 11. Got no chance on Saturday.
No, I'm not sure I can either. One thing I do know, which I've said before, I think Jonathan Bland, who's 19 and been a stalwart of our midfield, pivoting our midfield, and he's a strong lad. He's years above his age, years above. He's going to be. We often talk about who's going to be our next John Stones that's going to go on and play for England, and well, not play for England, because he plays for Wales under 21s, but John Bland, he could. I think somebody will tell me different. I think he's suspended. He were booked against Luton. I think that were his 5th bookings. I think he's suspended. He'll be a huge loss in our midfield, because he's very dominant in midfield. He breaks up play beautifully. He don't try to be super special, but he breaks up play, gets tackles in, he's strong, and he covers. You know, he covers the defence. You know, he supports them and stops people getting through. So he's going to be a huge miss if he's not fit to play. It's been a marathon, Steve. We've had 2 shows.
It's been great fun.
So all I would say to everybody who's watching, you need watch them both. You know, watch Red All Over's preview show tomorrow, because this is the companion for it, but it's also for this time a companion to the Scarf Begara War that Steve hosted, and he had. I can only describe him as a fabulous guest on. I don't know what it was, but what a star. What he didn't know weren't worth knowing. So that's worth watching. So another companion. So there's lots of companions to keep your whistle wet, ready for Saturday for the referee's whistle. Steve, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah,
thanks ever
likewise. Enjoyed every minute. Thanks, mate.
Good luck after Saturday.
Yeah.
Kenneth Wolstenholme said in 1966, there are some people on the pitch, they think he's red all over. It is now. Yeah. It's good to see you, Al, finally. Behave, Alan.
This show has been chaotic.
It's all out.
Yeah, I'll keep going then.
What is it?
All right, cheers, Al.
The dog's barking at the door because
It'll be
Amazon's
probably a
delivered.
Christmas branches order. I don't order stuff off Amazon. It's Kate. She never said a parcel were coming. Sorry about that. And Bruni, if you decide what Bruni says, the Vinny is barking up the right tree.
As jokes go, Al, that's pretty rough.
Oh
dear.
no.
Oh dear.